This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to the Gundam Lorecast, where we take a deep dive into the Mobile Suit Gundam series, such as the multiple timelines, mobile suits, characters, and so much more. Welcome back, pilots, to another episode of the Gundam Lorecast. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria, and always with me is my good friend and fellow pilot, Jesse.
How's it going, everybody?
And we are here to bring you more Gundam Barbartos, but specifically Lupus and Lupus Rex, which are considered two separate mobile suits. Compared to our last week's episode where we dived into Gundam Barbartos with his 6 forms, these are two separate mobile suits, but obviously other iterations of Barbatos. So, diving into the first one, we have the ASW G08 Gundam Barbatos Lupus, which is the main mobile suit of the first half of the second season of Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. It is piloted by Mitsuzuki August. So, just like with the Barbatos, Barbatos is always going to be, piloted by Mitsuzuki. It is how it is. So with the Gundam Barbatos fought many battles, and its pilot Mitsuzuki August, it becomes too damaged to be repaired. It is then sent to the MS workshop at Saisi, the home base of Taiwas, for an overhaul. The new name Lupus was given it by the Saisi's chief mechanic, who also responsible for the mobile suit's maintenance. Which Lupus has its own meaning, which we'll get into later in the episode. So based on Mitsuzuki's combat data, the suit was reconfigured as a close-range combat unit, and its reaction speed and mobility were also increased, with adjustments made through the Alea Vignana system to deepen the link between the machine's movements and the pilot's own senses. As a result, the Gundam frame's response rate was adjusted to match with the speed that Mitsuzuki senses, which makes it that much more of a chaotic disaster once it's on the battlefield. Oh boy.
It's insane.
He gets angry. When he gets angry, Barbatos gets angry. Specifically with Lupus Rex rather than Lupus itself. So other changes is the suit's frames include the arm frames being lengthened to match Mitsuzuki's senses, while the leg frames were modified, and has ground use suspensions to help adapt seamlessly to combat in all environments. Lastly, the frame parts and the arms and leg joints were replaced by those reproduced by Teiwas. This helps to resolve the accumulated damages and also improves their mobility. The boosters on the waist were based on the previous used by the Barbatos' 5th form, ground type, and 6th form, which helps it tremendously, especially if you're in zero gravity or even low orbit, or even in, standard ground-based combat. Having those boosters really helps.
Right.
The suit's close combat armaments were rebuilt to better fit Mitsuzuki's fighting style. The handheld firearms were cut to a minimum. Instead, the suit uses exchangeable firearms attached to its forearms. Defense-wise, as damage sustained until the suit gets close to the opponent is a major issue, is fitted with a light body armor and designed the most effectively defend off the impacts of being shot by greater use of curved surface. So, yeah. Now, moving on to the armaments. This is where it gets fun. We have the Sword Mace. So this is a heavy, close-range combat weapon developed by Teiwas technicians for Barbatos Lupus. It is shaped and weight designed to avoid hampering the mobile suit's mobility. Although shaped like a sword, it is a chopping weapon rather than a slicing one. Yeah, it's shaped like a sword, but it will... it won't slice you. It's going to beat you to death.
It crumples you.
Yes.
Just the way it works.
Yeah. We have the 200 millimeter gun mounted on forearms. The gun barrel faces backwards when not in use and rotates forward when in use. The recoil when fired is absorbed by the weapon's rail slides, minimizing the effort on the control of the mobile suit. A 20 millimeter machine gun is built into the gunner sensor section. Close combat weapons can be held in the hand while the 20 millimeter gun is equipped. Which, Mitsuzuki's always using close range combat majority of the time anyway, so having been able to use having a weapon in hand while also being able to use to fire from the forearms guns is fantastic.
Yes.
We then have the twin mace, which is smaller than the usual mace. The twin maces are easily to wield, a main weapon used by Barbatos Lupus in a melee. And these are maces, literally like small maces that he's dual wielding most of the time and beating the living crap out of people.
They're still awesome.
They still awesome, yes. And using this stuff in GB4 is also awesome.
It's so fun because it's so different than using the beam weapons.
Yes, everything in Iron Blooded Orphans is all ammunition, not beam related. So it is, completely different from most Gundam series, where most Gundam series you're going to see beam weaponry, where you'll see ballistics, but very seldom.
Very seldom are the ballistics something that you actually have to be afraid of.
Right. And Iron Blooded Orphans is you be afraid of it all the time.
Yes.
Especially if you see a slender mobile suit having a big, gigantic 200 millimeter explosive round rifle that is as long as its own body, run.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the smoothbore weapon that we went over last week. It's freaking massive, and also does a pretty explosive damage.
Yes.
So we now have the ARM rocket launcher. It is a close to mid-range shooting weapon that fires two 8-meter long rockets. Like the 200 millimeter gun, they are mounted on the forearms via rail slides that absorb the recoil. The launchers normally face backwards and will rotate forward when in use. If required, they can be fired while facing backwards. Close combat weapon can be held in the hand while the launchers are equipped. Now that's nice to be able to fire it when they're not like quote unquote in use, because you can easily use that to surprise many opponents.
Oh, big time.
We do have a new longsword. So a longsword forged by the MS Workshop in Saisi for Barbatos Lupus. Its blade is made of the same rare alloy that is used in mobile suit frames and is in the hands of the right pilot. It can bisect a mobile suit used in the battle against the Hashmal in the manga. So this is specifically a manga weapon.
Yes.
Which typically, when it comes to main character mobile suits, we don't typically see they typically transfer manga to anime. But very rarely is there a manga-only weapon or something. And honestly, I didn't really realize Iron Blooded Orphans had a manga. Most Gundam's series stuff is typically made in anime. There are manga, Gundam manga, but I think the reason we didn't know is they don't make a lot of Gundam manga in English.
Yeah.
A lot of Gundam manga stays in Japanese, and you will only see it in Japanese. Like, majority of the Astray series is in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do it in English whatsoever. Which is sad, because the Astrays are awesome.
Yeah, they're all
I
so
love
cool.
the Astrays. So, next we have the large railgun. It's a large handheld electromagnetic launcher. Its barrel slides forward when in use. Yeah. It's a big weapon that does big damage. When you see this, you run.
Yeah,
you
don't have a choice.
Run. You have no choice. Just run. Next we have is the Valkyria.
I'm assuming Valkyria.
Valkyria Buster Sword. There we go. Borrowed from the V08 RE-0526 Helwyn Renkar is a large sword that extends the mobile suit's height and is designed for the use against mobile armors. So,
If you've ever seen Final Fantasy
it's a
or
Buster
played
Sword.
Final Fantasy,
It's essentially a Buster Sword.
It's like Cloud's sword.
It's essentially the Buster. Yeah, it literally.
It's the break stuff.
It says it's a Buster Sword. Yeah, it's Cloud Sword from Final Fantasy.
Yes, that's the rules.
If you hear and you see anything Buster Sword, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be copy and paste from Final Fantasy, because that's where Buster Swords come from. Next, we have the variable mace, a mace with a spike-like claw that can flip out at the tip of the catch the opponent upon impact. A pair of variable maces are used in the manga by Barbatos Lupus against Galen Mosso's mobile suit team. Yeah. And then now we have the special equipment and features. So we have the subarm. Like the original Barbatos Lupus has a pair of subarms on its back for mounting weapons. They can also contain a hidden claw, each that can be used for attacking enemies at the rear. So, that's cool. And then obviously we have the Alea Vignana system, the cable connecting the pilot to the machine's Alea Vignana system is lengthened so it can be extended out of the cockpit. This is the assist Mitsuzuki who has lost functions in his right arm and eye, but can regain them by connecting to the system. So as long as he's connected to the system, he's able to move his right arm and see through his right eye. Otherwise, if he's detached from it, he can't move the right side of his body, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is super sad. He gets pretty effed up.
Yeah, I guess a lot of battles takes a toll on a child.
Well, fun fact, he's not even technically a child. He's like 14. He's 15 at the beginning of the series. I looked it up from last week's episode.
By the time he's using this, he's not a child anymore.
No, like even in the season 1, he's 15 when we see him.
I mean, he's a teenager, but
he's still technically a kid.
As an old person, he's a child.
As a old person. Oh no, being in our 30s is old. No. This sucks. Anyway, moving on to the history of the Barbatos Lupus. So the Gundam Barbartos Lupus was first deployed during the defense of a half-metal mine run by Cadelia on a Bernstein's Atomos company. It aided the other Tekkadan mobile suits, the Shiden and Shiden Custom, in repelling the attack of the Dawn Horizon Corps' Garm Radi forces. After forcing the enemy to withdraw, the Barbatos Lupus stopped working due to an impact received from its hard landing earlier. Later, it was deployed during a fight off the Dawn Horizon Corps in space, destroying multiple Garm Rodius and eventually defeating the Hugo used by the group's leader, Sandoval Rutgers, leading its capture by Mitsuzuki. During the Arab SAU War, it was deployed alongside the Gundam Gusen Rebake Full City and some Shidens to aid Tekkadan's Earth Branch, and protected McGillis during the conflict. During a later battle in the same war, it was rescued a shocked and inexperienced Hush Midi from a Goral Sharkfisher.
Okay, I'm gonna guess at this.
It's
too.
German for anybody who doesn't know.
Geirel Scharfichter. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Sure. Absolutely.
I don't speak German. I can't.
That
all
is
I know is it's a very
fun fact.
angry.
I took a year German, and
yeah, Geirel Scharfichter. That's what I'm going with.
There
it
we
sounds
go.
angry enough for me.
Right. The Barbatos Lupus was severely damaged in the battle against the Hashmal, mobile armor from the Clam du War. It was then sent back to Saisi for an overhaul and was upgraded into the ASW G08 Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex, which, obviously we'll get into. Before the damage, Barbatos Lupus was sent to Saisi. A group picture of Tekkadan was taken in front of it. A copy of this photo was seen years later in the house where Akatsuki and Atra live. Which
If you ever watched
Akatsuki
Naruto,
is his. Oh yeah, Akatsuki is his son.
yes.
Spoiler warning.
A little late, but yes.
Right, I know, a little
I feel
late.
like
Oh
everybody
well.
should know if they're watching this that they should just expect spoilers, or if they're
Right.
listening
Oh,
to
if you're
this, just
listening to this,
expect it.
expect spoilers. It's totally going to be a thing. And then last but not least, for the Lupus, we have notes and trivia for the Lupus. Obviously, Barbatos is the 8th demon of the Ars Goetia, which is the Book of Demons. The word Barbatos is driven from the Latin word Barbatus, which means bearded. The Argrata demon is often depicted with a beard, and this is reflected in the suit via the red chin piece, which is nifty. I didn't know that.
I knew what
Lupus,
the other two words mean. I didn't
yeah,
know what
lupus
Barbatos meant.
is the Latin word for wolf. Which, if you look at the lupus, from the Barbatos to the Barbatos lupus, if you look at the hands, they changed them to have claws, and then eventually, and they further change them when they goes to the lupus rex, specifically. So, with its Alea Vignana system safely limiter removed, Barbatos lupus eyes glow a blood red. This may pay homage to the exam system, where the mobile suits utilized in the system will have red eyes if the system is activated. And when you see this, it's absolutely terrifying. When you see the red eyes
Oh
happen,
yeah, they're awesome though.
they're awesome, but they are terrifying.
Oh, absolutely horrifying.
The Barbatos Lupus battle with Hashmo could be referenced to the biblical confrontation between demons and angels. From another point of view, it could look like a regal knight combating a dangerous monster. And then an image similar to the sigil of the demon Barbatos can be seen in the console upon activation. In addition, Taiwa's logo can also be seen. That's nifty.
Yes.
Yeah, because Hashmo was I believe was an angel in the Bible, right?
I believe so, yes.
Here, let me just look that up real quick, because we're recording this on the computer. Hashmo are angelic entities, and yeah. So Hashmo is an angel in the Bible, where Barbatos is a demon.
And also, we'll talk about a point in the future, but it is weird looking.
Hashmo?
Yes.
Yeah. No, the Hashmo is extremely weird looking as a mobile armor. And it's also extremely annoying when you fight it in all the iterations in the games.
Yes. Every game that it's in is annoying to fight.
It's not as bad in GB4, but it was extremely terrible to fight in SD Gundam Battle Alliance. That sucked. That was terrible. But let's take a mid break, thank our listeners, and we'll be right back.
It's a Gundam!
You would never get it. That never gets old.
It really doesn't. It makes me laugh every time.
Here we talk about everything with the show that has nothing to do with the lore of Gundam. Here we want to thank all our amazing listeners. Thank you so much for listening to this show. And if you want to support the show, there's a new option that you can go to. You can go to patreon.com/the Gundam Lordcast, where you can get ad-free episodes. There's all of the tiers, or if you do the $20 tier, you can join us once a month on the show and talk about anything Gundam related. I know we've had people recently asking, hey, what would would you be cool to get on the show? Well, now's your chance to be able to get on the show. And oh boy, I'm excited.
I'm very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think I set it up for a $20 tier. That's probably a good thing to talk about.
You might want to check that out. Make sure.
Oh, no, it's 25. So we have the Rookie Pilot, which is a $5 a month tier. We have the Experience Pilot, which is a $10 tier, which both give you ad-free episodes. The Experience Pilot will give you AMA submissions that you can go in the Discord. You also do get early access to all these episodes on all the tiers. There's Gundam Meister, at $25 a month, where you get everything, ad-free episodes, early access, AMA submissions, and you'll be able to join us once a month on a patron chat. Topic of your choosing for the topic of the show, of the episode that you want to do for the end of the month. We can talk about anything GB4, what got you into Gunpla, what got you into Gundam. We can talk about anything that you want. And then I do have a $50 tier. I am Gundam, which, funny enough, is the Lupus Rex. I put as the profile picture for it, which is pretty cool. And you get weekly patron shout outs on top of everything I said earlier for the show. So it's really good stuff. If you want to support us, if you want, that'd be awesome. Other than that, you can go to Apple or Spotify, leave 5-star review on Apple with some words. We'll read it out loud the next time on the show, as well as a nice Spotify comment, in which we do have one from our last week's episode from Marvin I, saying, y'all should cover the Psycho Zaku Sabazi or the MS-07B3 Goof Custom. Keep up the solid work. And yes, we are looking to do more. I think Jesse even sent me a message. We should probably do some other mobile suits that makes us not complete fetties. Which, hey, I use multiple mobile suits from either side of the Federation or the Xeon Forces and GB4. Thank you. I use the Camphor. The Camphor is awesome.
It is.
So, other than that, you can find us on a few different Discord servers, the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, where you can find this show as well as the other shows that I host, which are Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends, the Final Fantasy Lorecast, the Wizarding World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast. So go check those out. All great fun. And you can normally find us live on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BenOfTemeria every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, because that's time. And you can chat with us live while we're live. As we're doing this week's episode, we're not live because OBS is being weird and keeps disconnecting and reconnecting and going in and out, and it's terrible, but whatever. And other than that, I think we'll do the news part when we get back into normal. Get back out of the mid break.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, let's get back into more Lupus and have a little bit of news before we dive into that. All right. So, before we dive into Lupus Rex, we have some awesome Gundam news. So not only are we getting a new anime this year, I wish it was this year.
It's sometime soon though.
It's sometime this year.
It's sometime this month for the anime, isn't it?
In Japan, not in the U.S.
Hey, well, we can get a hold of some dub. I'll watch it. I don't care.
We are getting a card game this year, the Gundam Trading Card Game, which is its own unique game compared to other TCGs, which is super awesome. That stuff, I believe the TCG goes live in June or July. Here, let me pull it up. Gundam Card Game official website. Oh, great. Which I was just talking to a coworker about this, actually.
That would be another exciting one.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Oh, shoot. Where is all this info?
The card game I lost track of, I'm not going to lie. I got distracted by the other news and lost track of the card game to a big degree.
So it will be July 11th is when the card game comes out. There are going to be, where'd it go? Here we go. Multiple starter decks. So there's 4 starter decks on the July 11th when these go live. They're only going to be $11.99 MSRP, which is nice. So starter deck 1 is Heroic Beginnings with the RX-78, and the Aerial. We have Starter Deck 2, Wings of Advance, which is the Wing Zero and the Tall Geese 3. We have Starter Deck 3, Zeon's Rush, which is the Sabazi and the Char Zaku 2. And we have Siege Strike, Starter Deck 4, which looks like it is the Strike and Aegis. I believe that's the Strike and Aegis. Let me double check this. Yeah, that's definitely the Strike and Aegis. Yeah. Oh my gosh. No way. Oh, this is going to be even worse now with this trading card game. Because 3 Gundam assemble in each starter deck set. Miniature Gunpla without color and movement can be further enjoyed by
That's dirty.
$34.99 for those versions, where they go with Gunpla miniatures.
Oh, well,
So
if
for
it's saying
anybody
it's
who
Gundam
doesn't know,
Assemble, that's even worse.
so on top of that, there's also Gundam Assemble, which is a brand new, and they just teased this like a week or so ago. It's a brand new tabletop game coming from Bandai for Gundam. It is essentially Gundam 40K. It's like Warhammer 40K or Warhammer as a whole, but Gundam. They're
great.
all packaged like they were a Gunpla, where you put them together and everything. They're slack gray typically, where you physically have to paint them, and you play a tabletop game. I didn't know they were doing special editions of all the decks for Gundam, for the Gundam card game, to where they go
That's
with
mean.
3 Gundam miniatures for Gundam Assemble.
Okay,
So
chalk
and it's
up.
based on this, and it's based on the deck. So you have 3 Gundams per deck that are
So
specific from that deck.
what I'm hearing is I can chalk up like $105 on the cards plus whatever the miniatures start costing.
So we have the first one they showed in the Seed Starter Deck 4 is the Strike, which obviously Gundam the Heroic Beginnings deck will have, I believe they would show, yeah, they have the RX-78 in that one, which will be part of Gundam Assemble already. Let's see here, the Wings of Advance, the first miniature they showed off was the Tall Geese 3.
Which the wing from Endless Waltz is already in Assemble, so
Yes, they already showed off of the Wingless Waltz. Or, sorry, the Endless Waltz. Wingless. It's wingless. The
It's very much the opposite of
Xeon
that.
deck will go, the first one they have announced is the Zaku 2.
I wonder if it's Shars.
I believe it's Shars, but I can't. I'm imagining it's Shars. It's a Zaku. Yeah, I know it's Shars because in the picture above it's red. Someone has it painted red. But I did not know that. That's, oh boy. Well, that's more stuff to
I'm
buy.
gonna buy it. So
And then we have its first. The booster pack will come out July 25th. So like 2 weeks later, we have the booster pack called New Type Rising, which showcases the unicorn. And it looks like there's going to be cards from Mobile Suit Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, a Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, a Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, and the Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury. And then these are going to be MSRP $4.99, so they're only $5, which is nice. Contents there: 1 pack with 13 cards.
oh, that's not bad at all.
No, that's you
13
get more,
cards for
for
$5.
$5.
Like,
yeah, I know.
okay.
You get more cards in this, and it's cheaper than Magic. Until you buy the decks with the miniatures.
We'll talk about that.
And then talking about Gundam Assemble, which is obviously the tabletop. It is going to be Gundam Assembles a tabletop game that uses approximately 2-inch size Gunpla to battles. Each unit has abilities that reflect their unique characteristics, allowing players to enjoy scenarios that follow the original story or diverge into situations that transcend the world of Mobile Suit Gundam series, thus providing both a sense of recreation and distinct battles. Detailed rules and the product specifications will be announced later. And they show that there's going to be a runner in it where you build it just like a Gunpla. It is literally a 2-inch Gunpla. And so far they have shown the Wing Gundam Zero Endless Waltz version, the RX-78, the Zaku 2 Char, the Gundam Aerial, Unicorn Gundam, it's the full armor Unicorn Gundam, specifically. The Kapul, the white base, or is that the white base? Yeah, that's.
I think it's white base. It's hard to tell.
Or is that the Archangel? I think that's the Archangel.
Yeah.
That's the Archangel from Seed. And then it looks like some sort of version of the Destiny, but we could be wrong.
Think it is.
It's not really a good shot of this one because it's holding a shield right in front of its freaking face and majority of the body. So, and it looks like, oh no, that's just from Gundam Info. But yeah, there's a whole website on it and everything. It's really, really cool. Super exciting. So we have a lot of Gundam stuff coming in the works for 2025, which is super fantastic. And hey, who knows? Maybe they'll even announce, hey, GB4, more DLC for GB4.
That would be so sick.
Because they'll probably add the new mobile suit to GB4 at some point as like a free update.
Guess. That would be my guess, like they did with the stuff from
the Seed Freedom.
That too.
And they also added the Calibarn from
the
Witcher Mercury. By the way, I have used that mobile suit. It is really good.
Cool.
It's really cool, but the gun bits are amazing.
Yes.
So now let's dive back into the Barbatos Lupus Rex. So this is now the mobile suit featured in the later half of the second season. Again, it is also obviously piloted by Mitsuzuki August. The technology and combat characteristics, the Gundam Barbartos Lupus fought a fierce battle against the mobile armor Hashmol in the vicinity of Sirius, a city on Mars that is severely damaged and that is sent to the Saisis Mobile Suit Workshop for a major upgrade. Data sampling of Barbatos Lupus' fight with Hashmol was also conducted during the overhaul to match the combat data of Mitsuzuki August, who has been increasing his compatibility with the mobile suit through the Alea Vignata system. The machine's response speed has increased to the limit of its theoretical value. Movement of the frame joints were also decisively tuned to match the pilot's actual sensations. The suit's cockpit hatch was changed from its predecessor's top opening method to a front opening style in consideration of Mitsuzuki's worsened disabilities. To instinctively reflect Mitsuzuki's fighting style, the suit's arms were enlarged to elongated like a beast, and various weapons are fitted on the body. The arms frame structure was also upgraded and reinforced. The tail parts of the Hashmol was transplanted to the suit's back, and though the Alea Vignata system, Mitsuzuki controls the tail blade as if its was a limb. Overall, the Gundam Barbartos Lupus Rex is customized for close combat, and its silhouette gives it a more ferocious look than its predecessors. The word Rex means king in Latin, and is less faithful to Mitsuzuki, going along with Orga Iska, who aspires to be king of Mars.
The Lupus Rex looks absolutely terrible.
It is,
especially compared to the other versions.
It's like Barbatos meaning from demon. It's a demon. Lupus Rex looks more of a demon than any of the other versions of Barbatos. It is insanely demonic looking, but it's so cool. It's so awesome.
It's so cool looking.
Moving to its armaments, we have the ultra-large mace, developed by Gundam Barbartos Lupus Rex by Teiwa's Mobile Suit Workshop. Besides fitting Mitsuzuki's combat style, this heavy weapon also takes into view combat against battleships. The telescopic handle helps to close the gap with enemy units. When not in use, it is mounted on the rear waist horizontally. We have the pile bunker. The tip of the mace and the bottom of the handle are equipped with a pile bunker each. So the mace also has a pile bunker, so he shoots it like a freaking rod into something and destroys whatever it is. And we see like the mace from when he first uses the Barbatos in episode 1, 2. He uses the mace, and there's a pile bunker.
Really early on.
There's a pile bunker in the first mace he uses, and literally just decimates the pilot.
I want to say it's when he's fighting Lofter, he used it to like destroy one of the limbs of hers.
I believe so,
if I remember right.
But even season 1, the mace in season 1, at the very get-go, had the pile driver, and I was like, "Oh, was not expecting that."
It's cool. It's cool.
We have the tail blade. So the Hashmal's tail parts were transplanted onto Barbatos Lupus's Rex back, and combined with the tail made of rare metals for better close combat performance. The resulting tail blade can retract or extend to strike opponents as directed by Mitsuzuki through the Alea Vignana system, and is useful for one against many or other unfavorable combat situations. Yeah. Oh boy, does he use this. Now we have the Rex nail. So due to the Rex nails mounted on the fingers, the arms of the Barbatos Lupus Rex can function as powerful weapons that pierce through opponent machines. Like the tail blade, the Rex nails and the suit's toes are made of rare metals. Meaning he will rip and shred everything. It doesn't matter. He becomes a beast.
Honestly, the Lupus Rex is one of the few Gundam where it's just as scary with a weapon or hand-to-hand.
Right, yes, absolutely. We have, obviously, the 200mm gun. Each form contains a built-in 200mm gun. The weapon is further development of the Gundam Barbartos Lupus's firearms. We have the heel bunker. Barbatos Lupus Rex is equipped with pile bunkers in both heels. Just because this is
so wrong.
They just keep adding more and more devastating weapons. We have the GRH-01 9.8 meter battle axe. This is a close-range combat weapon used by the Greys that the Barbatos Lupus Rex attained temporarily during its last battle. And then we have the anti-ship lance mace. This is an optional lance mace designed for anti-ship combat. It has a telescopic handle. And then as far as special equipment features, we have the subarms, which, much like the Barbatos and Barbatos Lupus have, they have subarms to equip weapons, as obviously the Alea Vignana system, which, especially when we see Lupus Rex, when the red eyes happens, he becomes a devastating demon. Like, he becomes a demon. He just rips and shreds through everything. Oh boy. So, with the history of the Lupus Rex, the ASWG-08 Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex was made its combat debut during the Tekken's attack on JPT Trust, a Teiwa subsidiary headed by Jazli Dunmalikins. Its easily dispatched JPT Trust mobile suits and ended the battle by killing Jazli through destroying the bridge of his ship with the ultra-large mace. And just like that, it destroys an entire fleet.
Yeah. Insane.
It is later sent to Earth to assist McGillis Fardy's Corps of Gallahorn and played a role in disabling the mobile suits at the organization headquarters. It was then engaged the ASWG-XX Gundam Vidar in the headquarters basement. Initially, Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex had the edge, but they fought more on equal terms when Vidar's Alea Vignana Type E was activated. The fight stopped after the ASWG-01 Gundam Bale's intervention, and Vidar retreated back to space. During the battle between the Ehrenhold fleet and Megillus Revolutionary Fleet, when Tekkadan had allied with, the Barbatos Lupus Rex was kept occupied. The unrelenting EB-08 Reculaz Julia?
Reagan Lays Julia, I would
Sure.
guess. But
As per Rustal Elian's plan, this neutralized the effect of the Gundam had on the battle. Later, when Tekkadan came up with the daring plan to charge into the Ehrenhold fleet, the Barbatos Lupus Rex was deployed as the vanguard, as then clashed with the Reagan Lays Julia again and severed the latter's left arm. However, it failed to stop the Regulus Julia from interfering with the Gundam Florius. Danslov shot at the enemy flagship, and as a result, the attack missed its mark. And then, when the Tekkadan's Mar headquarters was surrounded by the Eridot fleet, the Barbatos Lupus Rex was deployed alongside the group's marine mobile suits to buy time for the non-combatants to escape via the secret tunnel underneath the base. The suit was heavily damaged when the Eridot fleet launched an orbital Danslov bombardment. Despite this, it continued fighting until its pilot, Mitsuzuki, passed away from his fatal injuries.
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah, Mitsuzuki dies. He is, fun fact, the third protagonist in the entire Gundam series that has passed away. Buying the other two, as we know of, but the other two passed away off screen from old age. So he's the only one that has, like, as a protagonist in the series that has physically died in combat.
I have an argument against
Okay.
because, spoiler alert, one of the protagonists of War in the Pocket does die. Now, the fact that that's OVAs versus being like a full fleshed out series is the only reason I can like understand why they say he's the first one.
Right,
or
that's fair.
One of the first three, but it's like, but
But War in the Pocket's also in the UC timeline.
and one of the protags does die
Fair
on
point,
screen.
Yeah. Fair. And we do obviously have more notes and trivia. So the Barbatos Lupus Rex appearance, with its claws, extendable tail blade, bears a resemblance to a demon, which it's fitting as its name after the demon Barbatos. Yeah, Barbatos Lupus Rex actually looks more of a demon than the original versions of Barbatos. He's terrifying. In Latin, lupus means wolf and rex means king, while Barbatos is derived from the Latin barbatus, which means bearded. So Barbatos Lupus Rex literally means bearded king of wolves in Latin. I mean, when you look at Lupus Rex and when he's going, like when Mitsuzuki's going all out with the the red eyes glowing from the from the eyes and everything.
Yeah, and using the claws and all of it.
Like he looks like a king of wolves. That's for sure. And then the unused concept design for the final battle, which features the left shoulder armor from a Rengalies and Barbatos' first form left arm, can be replicated in Gunpla form using parts from the high-grade Iron-Blooded... Wait, which version is this? The high-grade Iron-Blooded Orphan MS option set 9. So this is the... set 9? Which one is set 9?
Looking at it, I feel like it's gotta be the top one.
It's the third one.
Is it?
Yeah, includes Gish 9, a halberd from 13. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Oh, anyway.
See, it
you
says
can
option set
replicate
9, and then there's no picture of set 9.
Right. MS option set 9. It's like, and there's not really a picture for 9. But it's from one of the option sets for the high grade series. And option sets are awesome because you can put more, get more arm and armor for your Gunplas. They're great. I have a few myself. It's great to have more weapons and armor to display with your Gunpla.
I need to get more. I need to finish putting together my...
I don't have room to put any of my stuff, so we'll see how that goes. But that is all we have on the Lupus Rex. So, fun stuff. Do you have any final thoughts or anything on the Lupus or Lupus Rex?
No, I think we pretty much covered how awesome it is.
Yeah, it's epic. It's awesome. Go get GB4. You can use them in GB4. Lupus and
It's a really
Lupus
dark
Rex.
ending for the anime as a whole.
Yeah,
but
or you can watch the show.
it's a pretty cool. But it's a really cool suit.
Oh yeah, the Iron Blood Orphans in general was extremely dark. Like a lot of
So
characters.
dark.
I forgot how many characters died after the fact of everything that were just like randomly assassinated.
There's like assassinations. There's like crowd terrorism. There's child soldiers, which is just Gundam in general, but still.
Right.
It's just it just gets dark.
It's I would say one of, if not the darkest series
And like
in
the
Gundam.
ballistic weapons kind of make it darker than the beam
Right.
weapons.
And using more like maces and swords, like actual like steel,
Or
like metal swords,
like the ones
makes it
where-
more medieval and barbaric.
Yeah. Yes.
Hence why it's like I think more gruesome because of the being more barbaric. Like the
Yes,
first couple of episodes,
100%.
Mizuzuki literally kills a sergeant of Gallahorn with a giant mace. Literally, almost essentially, he's bleeding
Yeah,
out to
when he
death because
crushes
he's
the
been
suit.
crushed.
Yeah.
And then Mitsuzuki, literally, his life wants to be ended quickly, so Mitsuzuki just shoots him in the head. It's like, oh my god!
insane.
And this is the first two episodes.
It's very violent.
It's like, well, that's a great start.
If you like darker anime and you want to watch Gundam, watch Iron Blooded Orphans.
Yes, absolutely. But with that being said, I think it's a good time to head off the show. So again, everybody, thank you for listening to the Gundam Lorecast, and pilots, stay safe out there. Thank you for listening to the Gundam Lorecast. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends podcasting Discord, where you can share how you got into the Gundam series, and you can even find us on Twitter at Gundam Lorecast, and even email us at gundamlorecast@outlook.com.